The worst competitive CSGO map ever. Are you taking the piss?
The CS franchise has always been concise when it comes to competitive play. The maps played may be the same as always, but it works, and getting people to play a new map and figure out if it's viable or not can be pretty hard. In recent times, Valve has tried to spice up the CSGO map pool in various ways, and I'd say it's
There's a video about Inferno, right? The worst map in CS?
pretty successful, though the problem with introducing a new map is that balancing is gonna take a while, so quite a few updates and changes will be necessary. By listening to community and pro feedback, the results seem pretty positive. Well, except Canals, that one is a rip. Long ago, the CSGO map pool wasn't so optimized like today. The game had maps which were never that good or competitively viable to begin with, yet are classics to the franchise, so they were remade and slapped on for content, I suppose. Today I will discuss what I think was the worst one of them all.
You're trolling, bro.
Vertigo. It wasn't played on a pro level, yet it was still part of the competitive map pool, and I remember it had the longest queue time of any diffuse map, rightfully so, eventually getting removed and miraculously remade again. I know you might think there are worse maps like Dust, Assaults, or any of the new ones, but bear with me,
I remember participating in a tournament. It was an influencer tournament from a friend, from Zippel, I think he created it. And one of the maps was Vertigo, old Vertigo. And my team, we picked that map, and I thought it was old Vertigo, aka where you can jump down on middle, right? Aka the CSGO Vertigo, where you jump down on middle. No, it was this Vertigo, and I had no idea, bro. I was like, what the hell? I was so clueless. This Vertigo is ass. Even I admit it. I hate the old Vertigo.
have my reasons.
This shitty map is so CT-sided.
The Vertigo itself is a very old map appearing in CS 1.1. It was made by Chris Audi, who also created Inferno, Adstick, Stadium for CZ, and various other cut maps. I'm not gonna bore you with the
Bro, he literally created two of my very favorite maps. Vertigo, Aztec, and then the one that I hate the most, Inferno. How?
details. It isn't that deep to begin with because there aren't any changes to it besides an update in 2004, which I have no idea what exactly it changed. Anyway, the map itself has a focus on vertical design, similar to Nuke, and it's not necessarily bad, but also not good enough. And it's not because it's experimental, the layout is just awkward and confusing, and even if you get used to it, the many props, hiding spots, and exploits don't make it any more fun. There is one iconic thing everyone knows this map for, at least.
Oh my god.
Overall, while far from the worst, it still wasn't popular, leading to its exclusion in CS Source, though fan remakes do exist. Then, surprisingly, with the advent of CSGO, it made a comeback. Initially during development, it looked just like before, but then was opened up, received changes to its layout, and was put into the game shortly after the release of CSGO on October 1st, 2012. So what is this version of Vertigo like? Well, it's pretty bad. Before we get into why, let's briefly talk about the other maps. None of the maps remade for CSGO were literal ports, more so taking the old version, retexturing, and tweaking the balance to help make them more playable. Assault received breakable glass on the roof and changes to the inside, Dust received some new shortcuts plus changes to the bomb sites, and Italy got big reworks to its layout. While these maps still remain one-sided and unfavorable due to their inherent issues, at least they aren't broken. With Vertigo, I don't really feel like anything was made better, just worse. You can still drop out of the map, only this time you can do this.
Oh, that's actually cool though. Straight into their spawn.
Props and objects are all over the place, creating too many boosts, too many hiding spots, plus various exploits. This stupid ladder shortcut is still present, and I don't think I have ever seen a map with this many pixel gaps. Mid is the most complicated mess I've seen. Pixel gap here, self-boost here, and here.
It's so bad.
Plus this absurd toolbox. And by the way, as a terrorist, there is absolutely no reason to push mid because your entrance to B site is right there. Not that it matters because CTs can push out mid and kill you while you are still on the stairs.
It's so bad.
B-side is full of atrocious hiding spots, gaps, and places where it looks like you can climb, but get blocked. Don't worry though, you can just hop on top of the clip brush itself in certain spots.
Oh my
This
God.
entrance can be easily blocked by a single player, and the most OP spot is simply going on top of this unit, which lets you peer into CT spawn, easily picking out any rotations, and even if they are coming from T stairs, you can
It's crazy, chat. No, how they turned one of the maps into literal gold.
hide in this dumpster
AK current
or
Vertigo.
this partially clipped off corner.
Wow.
Also, why is it possible to get stuck here? This makes no sense. Yeah, you can hold off rotations from the gaps, I guess, but
That's
there
insane.
are better options. A-side is riddled with the same issues. If you push ramp as a T, you are dead. Just look at all of these possible angles you could be facing. It's stupid. If you go short, it ain't that different. Maybe less deadly. Most objects look like you can get on top of them, but they are clipped off. Except part of this stack of metal beams for some reason. And why is this toolbox here again? What were they thinking? You might think none of these issues are a problem because they can be just patched. Well, unfortunately, this Vertigo was never updated. At least I didn't find any changelogs. Actually, I did find a changelog, though it's nothing significant, and one thing that isn't mentioned anywhere is that the door to the ladder room was replaced with a breakable one at some point. That being said, this has to be the most unbalanced and broken official map in CSGO history. There is no way to play as a terrorist. The entire top floor is designed against them in every conceivable way, considering they can be easily intercepted from everywhere they might push. CTs can rain down on them in spawn or from the ladder room.
Ah, my man got skins though. AUG Akahibara except that's expensive.
The stairs are really easy to take over using the high ground. There is a hole on mid peeking into ramp for any rotations and tossing down utility. Just utterly impossible to play against. Vertigo's broken state was so infamous, the term Vertiglobal was coined by the community.
This guy definitely has classes, bro. What do you? That sounds so toxic.
Basically, people who know this map like the back of their hand, beating the crap out of unsuspecting players who don't know any better, leading to easy rank ups. Eventually, this map was removed in 2017, and in 2019, a remake was introduced, which still wasn't that.
Oh my god. Chat, you don't even know. Like, I love the current Vertigo, yes, but even better than the current Vertigo is this Vertigo. This right there was a little wooden box in the middle, or it's like sandbags box or something. You hopped onto it and you could go straight into B from middle. You could, one of the coolest things, you could just rush down middle and you could jump down on the connector part, like towards ramp. It was so cool, just rushing down there, bro. Oh my god, man.
Good, but far better. After many changes and
I still hate that change, bro. Why did they delete those fun parts?
reworks, the Vertigo we have today is quite up to standard and a lot more fun to play on. Many people still aren't too fond of it, but I'd say this map has had quite the redemption arc. The original CSGO Vertigo came out during a time the game was still new and there wasn't an established standard, but I don't think that's an excuse since the other maps at least tried to improve, while Vertigo, as previously mentioned, came out worse, and it's kinda sad it ended up like this. Nonetheless, the takeaway here is a lesson on how not to design a CS map. There's nothing wrong with remaking an old one, but remaining too faithful and leaving out its flaws can be detrimental to how it plays. Placing props and objects for the sake of detail or providing extra angles doesn't mean it's an improvement to gameplay. It might help visually, but this is Counter-Strike. The flow of the layout is the most important to consider.
There used to be chickens on Vertigo? Ooh, I wouldn't mind chickens on current Vertigo.
But this is Counter-Strike. The flow of
Look, a black cock.
the layout is the most important to consider. I know they don't really make sense from a realistic standpoint.
Guys, not a single person is putting a link. And you tell me that I'm getting baited by this. Are you guys trolling? The only person putting a link is OJ, who's the one who's always trolling, and I considered permabanning many, many times.
But that was
Get
never
good, guys,
the
come
point. And honestly, it gives maps their own unique CS charm. Lastly, please don't leave out small or big exploits that might break the map's intended gameplay. Valve themselves have definitely learned a lot about map design and what makes them fun to play on. The Vertigo we have today may be almost completely different in many ways, but the core of its original design is still present.
Yeah.
Still vertical, still experimental, and many parts are quite reminiscent of old. While Vertigo managed
But it's now it's like, bro, it's amazing.
to make a comeback, other maps haven't been so lucky. Aztec was too flawed to
Aztec was fantastic. This was the map that I mained before Vertigo. I mained Aztec, then Cobblestone, then Vertigo. Those were always my 3 main maps. My playtime in CSGO is 90% in these 3 maps and nothing else.
remake, so it was succeeded by Ancient. Other maps like Canals
Not the same. Aztec is so nice.
were never meant to be. Dust has been relegated to Wingman, and other maps remain in empty casual servers. With CS2 on the horizon, the future doesn't seem so bleak for our beloved old crusty maps. Will any of them receive reworks and updates, or will they be completely phased out? Recently, Italy was released, and it's not only revamped visually, but it came with some new additions to the layout, which
90% cases? Yeah, but the 10% gameplay, 90% of that is Aztec, Cobblestone, Vertigo.
to me indicates that Valve
That
has
should be
not
clear, no?
given up on the classics, and that is enough to
90% is Revolver case. 10% gameplay.
give me hope for other maps, regardless of game mode, remake, or
I enjoyed
entirely
that.
new. There is a lot to look forward to. Well, anyway, I have to go search my couch, because I think
Huh?
that's where I lost my Tamagotchi. The poor thing is probably starving. It needs my care and affection. Or its batteries.
Bro, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. W, only 13k views, man. That was nice. That was nice. If this guy continues, I easily next upcoming CSGO YouTuber, bro.